Hello. Okay, let's take a look here. We are right up here. This is going to be Unit 5, Lesson 1. We're going to be talking about ratios and rates. So our learning targets for today is we can write and simplify ratios. And then we're going to be able to find rates and unit rates. Now, you might be kind of wondering, well, what's like the difference between all of these like different words? Well, a ratio is a comparison between two numbers. Which is similar to a rate. But a rate is a special ratio in which the two terms are in different units. So it's a special ratio. The two terms are different units. And it kind of leads us to our third kind of vocab word, unit rate, which again is our like special ratio per one unit. So whereas a rate could be like, hey, I'm going to get 6 cans of pop for $4.99, whereas a unit rate is 1 can of pop costs 57 cents or something like that. So again, it's a special ratio. Comparing two numbers with one unit, or two terms to one specific unit. And we'll do some examples of that. Oops. So again, if we look here, you can use equivalent ratios and rates, including unit rates, to compare ratios and to solve problems. So again, what were we looking at in this example? Hey, right here, I'm going from 7 to 1. How do I go from 7 to 1? Well, I need to divide by 7. So it's one of those things where, hey, when I divide by 7 in the denominator, I'm going to need to divide by 7 in the numerator as well. So let's take a look at this example. Example 1. A survey asked students whether they had after-school jobs. Write each ratio as a fraction in the simplest form. Okay, so first example again. How many have a job is 40. How many don't have a job? 60. And then again, the important number that we also need to know is the total. So when I'm looking at writing this out here, I say, okay, students that have a job is 40 out of 100 total kids. But I know that I can simplify this, so I'm going to start by saying, well, they both end in 0, so I can divide the top and the bottom by 10, and then I get 4/10. But that's not quite as simplest form, because I can also divide it one more time by 2 and get 2/5. So that's going to be my fraction in simplest form. Students that do not have a job are 60. So again, if I think about, all right, I've got 60 out of a total of 100. This time I'm going to factor out 20 and get 3/5. And because we only had two categories, 2/5 plus 3/5 equals 5/5, which would be our total. Find each unit rate. Okay, so we have 2 liters of spring water that cost $1.98. So I want to know, how much does 1 liter of spring water cost? Well, in this case, I'm going to say, all right, I'm starting with $1.98 for 2. So if I just divide these by 2, 1.98 divided by 2, I'm going to find that 1 liter of spring water costs 99 cents. A car goes 425 miles on 12.5 gallons of gas. Again, for my unit rate, I want to know how many miles for 1 gallon. That's the question that I want you to be thinking about in your head. So I'm going to say, all right, I'm at 425. I'm going to divide by 12.5. Because again, I want to know exactly how many miles I can drive with 1 gallon. And we get 34 miles per gallon, MPG. Okay, let's see here. Converting a rate, so we'll start with this first one here. Convert 10 miles per hour to feet per minute. So we've kind of talked about this is to start, we need to make a roadmap. So I'm going to say, all right, I have miles over hour. And then I know that eventually I can convert miles into feet. I know that I have that conversion. So there's feet, but I still have hours on the bottom. But I need to end up with feet per minute. So then I'm going to have to say, all right, I'm going to keep my top the same, but now I need to change hours to minutes. So important stuff to see, 10 miles per hour. That's what we're going to start with. And you may have to remind yourself, you can go back, see if we can find it real quick, our unit conversions from our previous unit right here. You may need to remind yourself of some of this stuff. And I look right here and I say, how many feet are in 1 mile? 5,280, okay? So I'm gonna need that information. So I'm gonna start with 10 miles for 1 hour. And then I said I'm going to turn miles to feet. So again, if I have miles in my numerator to cancel out miles, I'm going to put 1 mile on the bottom. And 1 mile is equivalent to 5,280 feet. And now I said, okay, after I get feet per hour, I want to convert it into feet per minute. So right now I have hour on the bottom, which means I need to put 1 hour on the top. And what's equivalent to 1 hour is 60 minutes. So again, as I look at my units, miles cancel out, hours cancel out. I'm left with feet per minute. So this is going to equal 10 times 5,280 times 1. All over 1 times 60. Yes, you can use a calculator on these problems. Please use a calculator. 52,800 divided by 60. And I got 880. And again, this would be feet per minute. You could also write it like this. So that's our first answer. So we see right here, all right, 3.5 quarts per minute, and I want to get gallons per hour. So again, create a roadmap. What's my roadmap going to be? I'm starting at quarts per minute. Now, maybe you can't remember. You can look back in your notes. You can do a quick Google search to find out what the conversion was for quarts to gallons. But it looks like 1 gallon is equal to 4 quarts. So if I'm using that information, I'm going to say, okay, I can go directly from quarts to gallons, but I still have minutes on the bottom. So then I'm going to need to change minutes into hours. So here's gallon per hour. And that's what our goal was to end. So let's plug in some numbers. So I have 3.5 quarts per 1 minute. And I am going to start by changing quarts to gallons. And I just found that 4 quarts is equivalent to 1 gallon. And then I know that there are minutes is on the bottom, so I need to put minutes on the top here. 60 minutes in 1 hour. So if I start simplifying, again, I'm going to have 3.5 multiplied by 1 times 60. And then I'm going to have 1 times 4 times 1. As I look here, okay, quarts cancel out. Minutes cancel out. I'm left with gallons per hour, which is exactly what we wanted. 3.5 times 60 is 210. And 210 divided by 4 gives us 52.5. So our answer is going to be 52.5 gallons per 1 hour. Okay, the last one, again, if I'm making my roadmap, I'm starting with centimeters per second. I need to go from centimeters to meters, and I know that there are 100 centimeters in a meter, so that's nice. If I think about seconds, there's 60 seconds in 1 minute, and then there's 60 minutes in 1 hour. So if I want to go from minutes to hours, I need to do 60 times 60. So there are going to be 3,600 seconds in 1 hour. So I can go meters to hours if I think about it. Otherwise, I'd have to go seconds to minutes, minutes to hours. All right, plugging in what I know. 12 centimeters over 1 second. Then I'm going to say, all right, I want to get rid of centimeters. Centimeters is on the top. So 100 centimeters is equivalent to 1 meter. And then I want to get seconds. I want to eliminate seconds and turn it into hours. So 3,600 seconds is equivalent to 1 hour. Centimeters cancels out. Seconds cancels out. Meters per hour. 12 times 1 times 3,600. 1 times 100 times 1. 12 times 3,600 is 43,200. 1 times 100, 100. Cancel out some zeros. You're left with 432 meters per hour, not seconds. Per 1 hour.